Let's talk to Lisa Minnow, travel editor at The Sun. Currently in Greece, it says here. Very nice too. Lisa, very good morning to you.
Morning.
How lovely to see you in the sunshine, because we haven't got any of that here. In fact, yesterday it rained so much I thought we were literally going to be swept away on a deluge into the river, you know. But let's talk about trains just for a moment, because apparently yesterday the Labour Party kind of hinted that they're going to continue with HS2, but they're going to do it as a kind of HS2-Light. And they basically said, look, we don't want it to end up in West London. We don't want it to end up in Oak Common or wherever it's going to go. We do want to bring it into Euston. And Euston at the moment is an absolute shambles, isn't it?
It is, yes. So we've already had quite a few problems at Euston. They've been told to remove some advertising hoardings to make it easier for people to actually navigate their way around the station, because it is such a nightmare. And yes, but this was what was decided yesterday. So Louise Hay came on to Times Breakfast and basically said, we want to go all the way into Euston. And now we've heard overnight that there is further plans that the government are looking at to actually go back to HS2, but it's going to be NHS, and that's not high speed. So the idea being that there's a plan in place now to continue the line up to Crewe from Birmingham, but it would not be a high-speed link. It would just be a link that will be faster than the West Coast Main Line. And that comes down to the one thing that it was built for in the first place, which is just capacity. We all know what a nightmare that West Coast train line is at the moment. And this is about basically making sure that there is going to be that further capacity, because these HS2 trains, the ones that are going to be going from London to Birmingham, they're smaller than the trains that are currently on the West Coast Main Line. So there was going to be a capacity crunch, and this was going to hopefully solve this capacity crunch.
But is that going to affect the building of the trains? Because my understanding is they haven't yet built the trains for this line. So does that mean they're going to build different trains with different engines? Because, I mean, surely they're not going to call it NHS2, are they?
No, that's me.
That's you.
Me saying,
I would love it if they did.
Me saying not high speed, basically.
Right.
No, I mean, this is about the track and the kite. At the moment, the West Coast Main Line, its capacity, trains can go no further than 125 miles an hour, and that will be the case. So that it will not be going as fast as the HS2 trains, but it does at least go back to the original idea, which was to connect London and the North, and to have that much better connectivity between London and the North of England. And then, of course, if you tie into that all of the Northern Powerhouse projects at the moment about making sure that there's much more connectivity between the West and the East, so that it is a good thing, hopefully, if we can see that something actually gets done and it doesn't cost us as a taxpayer yet more millions and millions of pounds. Well,
that is the trouble, isn't it? Because inevitably that's what is going to be the end game. It's going to cost us an awful lot of money. I mean, I've always said I think I'm going to be dead by the time this train line actually runs. When's the first train meant to actually go online live?
Well, I mean, at the moment, there is no set date for that, but we are talking, significant amount of time. It's not happening anytime soon.
Like 2040 or something, right?
Yes, and at the moment, as I say, the plans were only to go as far as Old Oak Common. So this new idea to reposition it and to go back to Euston is going to take obviously much longer as well.
Yeah, blimey. What a nightmare. Lisa, great to see you. Enjoy Greece. It looks wonderful, lovely. Go and have some, cleftatis or whatever it is you have over there. Lisa Minnow, currently the traveller, well, not currently the traveller, so always the traveller, so she's in Greece currently. I mean, 2040 or possibly later, they're going to run a train from London to Birmingham, which isn't any faster than the one they already run, because they can't afford to run one that's any faster. But also Euston, which is the main line sort of terminus, is a complete night shambles. I had the misfortune of coming through it a couple of Sundays ago. My goodness me, I mean, the train was actually all right. It was getting off at Euston that was the problem. It was like getting off at somewhere like Calcutta. I mean, I've never seen so many people in my life. You couldn't walk straight in a line. You couldn't go, you had to go round people. You had people who were being herded like sheep across one part of it. They've changed the actual announcement departure board into a massive advert. So, I mean, it's just the whole thing's a shambles. Very much like this entire country and this entire government.